Well, ladies and gentlemen, in fact, indeed, the Eagles are now 0-2. I can't explain this. I don't know what the hell is going on. This isn't the Eagles that we are accustomed to seeing. This is even worse than the middle of the stretch last year. But I'm going to tell you guys, I still believe that there is a lot to be salvaged with this 2020 Philadelphia Eagles season. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Ed Parcero, Philly native, all things sports and culture in this beautiful city of Philadelphia. Not so much beautiful right now, but I am the uniter of everything sports and culture. And before we move forward, guys, do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button for notifications, as well as sharing this video and the channel to help continue the growth of your favorite Parcero. That is right. Eagles losing this game 37-19, now dropping to 0-2, putting themselves in a terrible position right now. Only 12% of teams in NFL history have made the playoffs after starting the season 0-2. Wow, where do we even begin? Listen, I see what's been going on with the Eagles fans, and I know where you guys want to point the finger, and I get it. Carson Wentz probably played the worst game I have ever seen him play personally. This is even worse than the rookie year. This was worse than the middle stretch of last season. If you guys remember that losing streak we had, the Seahawks, the Pats, the Dolphins, that losing streak, yes. This is worse than that. I can't explain what I saw yesterday. When I saw Carson play, number one, the inaccuracy. And we saw the inaccuracy in week 1 against Washington. And it's just I don't know what to base on. I know, like, we've criticized his footwork, basic fundamentals of Carson Wentz, but it's just like every single a couple of these passes, it's like number one, you're putting these guys in bad situations, and number two, you're putting yourself in a bad situation by throwing a ball that could be easily picked off by the defense. Oh man, it's not good. And the thing is, we are now in year 5 of the Carson Wentz era, and we're still seeing these mistakes that, quite frankly, we see rookie quarterbacks make, a second-year quarterback make. And we are far from the 2017 year where he was the MVP of the football season. Let's get that out the way. He was the MVP of that year. And we're far away from last year's 4-game winning streak, where he put the team on his back, essentially, and rode us to the playoffs. It's rough. It's definitely rough. Finishing the game with he was 26 of 43, 242 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, in a game where this was a QB duel between the top 2 picks of the 2016 NFL draft, between Jared Goff, the number 1 overall pick, and Carson Wentz, the 2nd overall pick. And the first time these two guys met up was the 2017 year, where Carson Wentz's season ended on tearing those 2 ligaments in his knee, which ended his MVP season. And in this game, this was going to be a true test between both these teams. And Jared Goff won. And it wasn't even like Jared Goff played spectacularly. Again, the same thing we said in week 1, the Eagles did it in week 2. We shot ourselves in the foot and gave the Rams the win. I didn't think they did anything crazy yesterday in order for them to win. And the fact of the matter is, we were down 21-3 heading into the second quarter. We scored 13 unanswered points. We gained the momentum back. Thank you to Cooper Kupp on that fumble. That was huge. That really turned the game around for us. And then in the second half, we were driving in that first drive for the Eagles, and then Carson Wentz throws an absolutely terrible ball to a terrible wide receiver in J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and the ball gets intercepted, and that interception turned the game around, and that's when I knew the Rams had this. The Rams had it. That flat out, the Rams absolutely had the game at that point. And on to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, just real quick, because that draft pick drives me absolutely insane. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in this season has 0 catches. In this game, he had 2 targets. And right after him, who gets drafted? DK Metcalf, who is absolutely destroying everyone in this season thus far. He looks spectacular. I just saw him burn the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year in Stephen Gilmore. And then after him, you look at Terry McLaurin, who, listen, Washington might not have a lethal offense, but he has burners and he can absolutely scorch some defenses. And here we got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who in the offseason I was sold that he improved. JJ's found himself. He's a new person. He's a new man. He laughs at the person that he was last season. He's a different player. I see the same shit from J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. And it is what it is. But Oh man. Well, all right. Let's move on. Let's look at the defense real quick because the defense, Jim Schwartz got outcoached. Again, Jim Schwartz got absolutely outcoached. And the thing was, the defense in week one looked good. They look good. I don't blame the loss on the defense in week one, especially when Washington's getting prime field position. And in this game, I will give some credit to McVay because McVay had a great game plan going. He knew that the Eagles' pass rush was a key for us, and he pretty much took our Eagles' pass rush out of the game. And what we saw was a lot of horizontal play from the Rams. So what I mean by that, you saw a lot of end arounds, a lot of tosses, a lot of stuff to the outside, and then wanting to move Jared Goff, roll him out, and get him outside the pocket, and that's where he killed us. Jared Goff outside the pocket was absolutely deadly. There was nothing we could do to stop it. And by running a lot of wide plays, the end arounds, the stretches, the tosses, the rollouts by Jared Goff, that literally took our pass rush out of the game. And our defense got absolutely scorched. Jared Goff finished the game with 3 touchdowns, all of them to his tight end Tyler Higbee. My man was looking like an MVP out there. Do I think he's an MVP? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not think he's an MVP, but they played really well. And then there's this Darrell Henderson kid who looked really good for the Rams. He had 81 yards and a touchdown off of 12 carries. And Howie, you don't want to draft a running back? I will give credit though, because Miles Sanders did look good yesterday. In his first game of the season, he had 95 yards and a touchdown. Did have a fumble, the first turnover of the game for the Eagles, but he turned it back around. I thought in his first game, he was just, a lot of these players in their first games, like we haven't had training camp, and that's another issue too. But he was getting his feet wet, and he looked solid. I think he finished out the game really well. But the fact of the matter is, the Eagles did not have a training camp. I get it. They did have a training camp, but they didn't have the preseason, which is what I'm more so worried about. In those preseason games, I know we hate preseason. I hate preseason. I don't like watching preseason games, but I understand the importance of preseason. Those are dress rehearsals for players to go into the season and get ready. And we didn't have that. We couldn't have that. And I think what you're seeing right now is the Eagles were just not fully prepared for the season. And I think it's going to take some time for them to get that rust out, gain that chemistry back again. You're talking about, Deshaun Jackson was out for most of the season. Jalen Reagor is a rookie. You look at the only receivers that we have back from last season: Greg Ward, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, and that's really it. This offensive line, I mean, it's been a huge shuffle with the offensive line, and we lost Isaiah Umali yesterday. That's really unfortunate. That's one of the worst things you can see is when you're in goal line situations. Mostly you see is, and the running back just falls right on the back of a lineman's leg, and that's like the worst thing to see possible. And that's what happened to Umalu. Matt Pryor got placed in there, and Matt Pryor didn't do a bad job himself, but we keep losing linemen this season. It's every year it's something different. Last year the receivers, this year it's the linemen. It's constantly. It's musical chairs with the Eagles and replacing players. Then we did do one thing good, and you guys know me. I always like to look for the positives. We kind of took Aaron Donald out of the game, and it was heading up to this game. It was like, oh my God, how do we stop Aaron Donald? He's such a dominant defensive player, if not the best defensive player in the league right now. And in the first half, he was quiet. Second half, he got in Carson Wentz's face a little bit. He got a little more active. But I think we did a solid job of getting him out of the game. But again, shoot yourself in the foot, man. And you lose the turnover battle as well. 3 turnovers to the Rams, 1 turnover. And it's just constantly... these first 2 weeks, it's just something else. It's literally something else. It's not just one thing. Like the first game, you can attribute to the offensive line failure. Doug Peterson, which I do think Doug Peterson is again another one to blame. When you have losses, of course, the first person you're going to look at is the coach. And again, you got to look at the coach here again as one of the culprits of why we lost this game. McVay finally got the best of Doug Peterson after Doug got the best of McVay, the offensive guru I keep hearing. But gotta give credit to the Rams. They came in, they did their job, nothing crazy, but they took advantage of an Eagles team that is, quite frankly, down right now. Oh man, it sucks. So let me see, what else did I notice in this game? Deshaun Jackson is no longer a speed threat. Honestly, I don't think that I thus far this season, he's not the same speed threat that I remember him being. He's more of a possession receiver, and a lot of the catches that he had were like comeback routes or 5 and outs or 10 and outs. No posts, no flies, no screens. Remember, we saw a lot of screens from Deshaun in his heyday, and that's fine. I mean, it is what it is, but that means other guys do have to step it up. I do think that Greg Ward needs a more focal point of this offense. The fact that he only had 1 catch on 1 target, do you not remember what he did for us last year, Doug? He needs a bigger role in this offense. Jalen Reagor, I love, and so far I've been right about Jalen Reagor. He had 5 catches on this day. He's going to be good, guys. He's definitely going to be good, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. The tight ends were pretty clutch in this game as well. Zach Ertz, 5 catches. Dallas Goedert, 4 catches. So those were some good things to look at. Nickell Robey-Coleman, bro, where were you in this game? I saw missed coverages. I saw bad tackling as a whole for the defense, but I saw too many blunders from Nickell Robey-Coleman. This was a guy who, before this game leading up, facing off against his former team, he was like, "Oh, I'm telling the defense what to expect and what to look for against this Rams offense." And I know him so well, dog. Did you know this offense? Did you know this offense? Because not only did we get burnt, my man, you got burnt too. So, that was a rough game by Nickell Robey-Coleman, but. Fact of the matter is, there's too many mistakes, and it's senseless mistakes too by the Eagles in this second game against the Rams, and unfortunately now we are 0-2, sitting last place in the East and NFC East. Watching Dallas getting that comeback win was hard to watch as well. I get it. It drove me crazy to see too, but it's still really early in the season. This division is terrible. It's still terrible. It's the worst. It is probably still the worst division in football. So if the Eagles can find a way to get we just want the Eagles to come back. We don't know where they're at. They are missing. Put them on the milk cartons, because we do not know where this 2020 Philadelphia Eagles team is at. We need them to come back, and I think that this is a perfect week to do it against a Cincinnati Bengals team who is bad, and they have a rookie quarterback who I do think he will be really good one day. But obviously now they're 0-2, losing to the Chargers and the Browns. At home, this is a perfect opportunity for the Eagles to turn it around. Get the W, get the win, and then the following week you got the Niners, who aren't as daunting as we once thought they were. They are dropping like flies. They are playing in a tough division, although they did kill the Jets, but I mean, everyone's killing the Jets these days, right? So I think this is the perfect week for the Eagles to bounce back. I'm super excited. I listen, I know the first 2 weeks I've been burnt, and a lot of us have been burnt as Eagles fans, but I think this is going to be the week that we can get it done. Final score again, Eagles losing 37-19. Eagles fans, have some faith. Let's have some patience. I believe this team will be okay. Tonight on Monday night, 7:30, Tonic Seafood and Steak. I will be down there with the Philly Sports Guy for the Birds breakdown. Week 2, week 1 went really well. We're gonna come back for week 2. If you guys aren't doing anything, definitely head down. We will be on live, and we will have the episode up on the Philly Sports Guy YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that as well. If you do not follow me on my socials, definitely follow me. Twitter @ParceroPhilly, Instagram @L_Parcero_Philly, and on TikTok @ElParceroPhilly as well, to stay up to date to when to watch that. You don't want to miss it. Myself and the Philly Sports Guy, we are the dynamic duo in Philly that you guys need for sure, guys. So definitely don't miss that. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share this video as well. It would truly mean the world to me. In the comments below, let's talk about this game. Vent. Let's talk. Let's vent, guys. Let me know what your thoughts were on the game. What you need to see from the Eagles to make it feel a little bit better against the Bengals. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of El Parcero Philly, and I'm telling you guys, go Birds. Have some faith. We're gonna be all right.